as it is currently the All-Star break. I did a prediction video, I think back in August, on what I thought the season would look like, what the standings would look like. So I went to the All-Star break point in that video, looked at what my predictions were, and I'm going to compare that to what the current NBA standings are. So here we have my predictions. As you can see, for the West, I predicted Clippers, Suns, Nuggets, Lakers, Jazz, Mavericks, Warriors, Grizzlies, Trailblazers, Pelicans, Kings, Thunder, Rockets, Timberwolves, Spurs. In the East, I predicted Bucks, Nets, Celtics, Hawks, Wizards, Sixers, Bulls, Heat, Knicks, Hornets, Pistons, Raptors, Pacers, Magic, Cavaliers. If you've been paying attention to the NBA season this year, some things should immediately jump out to you just for me going over this list here, but we'll go through it now. I've not been watching a ton of NBA this season. My team is, I'm a fan of the Portland Trailblazers. They have been struggling for sure, and so with them not really going that well, I've just kind of not had a ton of interest. I've been paying a lot more attention to hockey this year, but so some things I say I might not have the best take on things here, but this is for relaxation anyway. So the actual first seed in the West is not the Clippers. It is the Phoenix Suns. Even though I had the Suns as the 2 seed and they're actually the 1 seed, I'm going to give myself a green on that one. The Phoenix Suns have been playing great team basketball this season, just firing on all cylinders, obviously coming off of a finals appearance against the Bucks. They've just been killing the game. Devin Booker, of course, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton. They even have some underrated guys on that team. I've always been a big fan of Mikal Bridges. I've always thought that he, what am I trying to say? I've always liked Mikal Bridges. I thought that he was one of the more exciting players on that team. And I think that, they're just a super fun team to watch. They play great team basketball. And, currently the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. I had the Suns as the 2nd seed, but the actual 2nd seed is the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors. Now, I'm going to give myself a red there because I had the Warriors as the 7th seed. So I was predicting them to be in the playoffs, but I was not expecting the emergence of Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins has just been on a tear this season. He's performing to a level that was one that everybody was always hoping he could get to, but he just was not able to do it in Minnesota. He's living up to that Maple Jordan nickname that he got out of college. And it's just really cool, really exciting to see Andrew Wiggins performing as well as he has. Of course, Steph Curry, earlier in this season, he had an absolutely incredible stretch of games where he was just pulling up from everywhere, just going off. He has cooled down a little bit, in these last few weeks. He's cooled down a little bit, but he's still, he is still Steph Curry. And of course, Klay Thompson has been back this season after not playing for like 2 years or something like that, and Klay Thompson's been performing well, doing really good, and it's been probably my favorite guy on that team. Yeah, I'd probably say it's probably either Clay or Wiggins, my favorite guy on that Golden State team. Okay, I predicted the Nuggets in third. They actually are down in sixth. I'm gonna give myself, let's go with like an orange on this one. I would say I was like half right. They have had some absolutely monster performances out of Jokic this season. Jokic has been on a tear, but it feels like there's a lot of guys underperforming on this Nuggets team. I mean, they're right there in the mix. They're currently 33-25. But I don't know. I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen a ton from them this season, but I feel like they should be better. I remember that there was quite a bit of noise about them potentially getting like a lot of bets placed on them to win the title, and I don't know if I'd put them into the title contention right now. But of course you have Jokic. I think Michael Porter Jr. might be injured. I think they're dealing with a bunch of injuries this season, but nevertheless, I had them at 3. They're at 6th. So, they're about, how many games behind? So the current 3rd seed has 41 wins, and the Nuggets have 33 wins. So they're 8 games worse than the 3 seed. So, alright, this is just going to be a big L. I had the Lakers. I think the Jazz is a W for me. I predicted the Lakers to be the 4 seed. The Lakers are the 9th seed right now. So I was dead wrong on the Lakers, but I will give myself the Jazz. The Jazz are the current 4th seed. I had them as the 5th seed, so I'm going to give myself a win on that. It's only a 1-place difference. The Jazz have been a really fun team to watch this season. They're just clicking on all cylinders. You have Donovan Mitchell, of course, Rudy Gobert, but I think my favorite guy on that team is Jordan Clarkson. They got Hassan Whiteside there now, who's like one of my favorite just personalities in the league. And of course, earlier, the trade deadline, the Blazers sent them Nickeil Alexander-Walker, which I was hoping that they would have, kept. He would have been kept for the Blazers. It looks like he hasn't really gotten any minutes there in Utah yet, so we'll see if anything ends up happening with him. But he could potentially be somebody in the playoffs that goes off for them. But the interesting thing about the Jazz is, like, looking at their roster, outside of like 2 or 3 guys, there isn't really anybody who jumps off the page at you. So it's just a total team effort, and that's just, the teams that win like that are always exciting to watch. Now we come to the 5th seed spot. I predicted the Jazz, but it's actually the Mavericks. I'm going to give myself a green on this one too. I predicted the Mavericks for 6th. They're in 5th. That Porzingis trade, I still think that was a bad trade, but the Mavericks have been winning ever since they made that trade. Excuse me, this isn't the Nuggets. I put the Nuggets here. This is the Grizzlies that are the 3rd seed. The Grizzlies are the 3rd seed. I talked about the Nuggets during that spot, so I'll talk about the Grizzlies when I get down here. My apologies. But anyways, that Luka has been on an absolute tear. Coming out of the trade deadline, Sans Porzingis, he had like a 49-point game the other night and like a 48-point game the night before that or something. He's just been killing the game. Of course, Jalen Brunson, who is there, I think, is this his 2nd year or his 3rd year? I'm not sure, but Jalen Brunson is always like super exciting to watch, just the way he plays the game. I always love watching him play. they got Spencer Dinwiddie at the deadline. I'm not sure if he's done anything yet. Okay, he did. So he put up he had 23 minutes against the Heat and 30 minutes against the Pelicans. Not really doing much in either of those games, but we'll see if he gets anything going. Tim Hardaway Jr., Reggie Bullock. The Mavericks have a team of guys that I've always liked. I think I've said it before, but the Mavericks are my second favorite team in the league. I'm a Blazers fan, but if I had to pick a second favorite team, I'd probably pick the Mavericks. Okay, now we come to the 6th seed. I predicted the Mavericks. It's actually the Nuggets. I already talked about the Nuggets when I mistakenly put them up here in this spot, so I will just not say anything there, move on, and I'll talk about Okay, the 7th seed, I predicted the Warriors. It's actually the Timberwolves in 7th. Yep, I was dead wrong on the Timberwolves. I thought they were going to be the second worst team in the league, but they have been playing some really good team basketball. Of course, Anthony Edwards has just been like he was the first overall pick last season. He was right up there in the Rookie of the Year race with LaMelo Ball. There were some people that thought that Anthony Edwards should have won it instead of LaMelo. I personally thought that they should have done like a co-Rookie of the Year type thing. Karl Anthony Towns has been playing really high-level basketball lately, just like putting up a ton of points, playing a complete game, which is something that a lot of people criticized him for not doing. D'Angelo Russell, he's doing D'Angelo Russell stuff, and they just have an exciting team over there. Young guys, hungry guys. A lot of people don't consider how young Karl Anthony Towns still is. He's been in the league for a little while, so people probably think he's a little bit older, but he's only 26 years old, so he has a while to grow with his game. And of course, Anthony Edwards. They have Pat Bev now, and of course, former Trailblazer Jake Layman. Okay, the 8th seed. I said the 8th seed would be the Memphis Grizzlies. They're actually the 3 seed, but the Clippers are down in 8th. So that's a big red there. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George both out injured at the moment. They've been kind of winning in spite of those injuries. It's kind of a miracle they're even in the playoff conversation at all. They recently acquired Norman Powell from the Portland Trailblazers. He's been killing it over there. And I think, I kind of stated in my trade deadline video, if Kawhi Leonard and Paul George come back this season in time for the playoffs, I think they have a really good team that could make a lot of noise in the postseason, but it's entirely contingent on those guys getting healthy, so we'll see what happens. I think if Kawhi and Paul George had been healthy this entire season, they would not be in 8th, but I still have to give myself a red here. Similarly, gonna have to give myself a red on the Lakers. I predicted them to be the 4th seed. They're actually the 9th seed. They are not in the playoff picture right now. They would be in the play-in tournament. That Russell Westbrook trade in the offseason is looking like an all-time bad move. I think they just won their last game, so that's been alright, but Anthony Davis just got hurt again, as Charles Barkley calls him, street clothes. Their last game, Anthony Davis, he went down with like a foot sprain or an ankle sprain or something, had to be helped off the court. Thankfully it's not serious, but he'll be out for a few weeks to a month. And Westbrook, and it's not a great situation there in LA. They got that Malik Monk, I think, and a lot of people were kind of like, oh man, this guy is like just ring chasing, but he hasn't really been doing much. Carmelo has not been doing much, and yeah, I was dead wrong about the Lakers. However, I was not wrong about the Trailblazers. I said that the Trailblazers would fall off and eventually miss the playoffs, and we did fall off. Currently, Damian Lillard is out injured, but even when Dame was healthy, it didn't really matter. The Blazers were still losing a lot of games and just not looking that great. And then there was the trade deadline that happened. I criticized a lot of the moves at the trade deadline, obviously shipping out C.J. McCollum, Larry Nance Jr., Norman Powell, and Robert Covington. However, since the trade deadline, the Portland Trailblazers have won 4 games in a row, which I believe is the 3rd longest winning streak. Yes, it's the 3rd longest winning streak in the NBA currently. And one thing I've noticed post-deadline with the Trailblazers is they're playing a lot better team ball. The ball is moving a lot more. There's a lot more passing. It's not just ISO ball for Dame or CJ, because that's always been one of my problems with CJ McCollum, is that if he gets the ball, he will pound the air out of it and then put up a shot through 2 defenders or whatever. Like, the man hates to pass. I think he's been doing alright in the Pelican system, so, I mean, that's good because I like CJ, but the Blazers are playing a lot better team ball right now, led by Anthony Simons, Yusuf Nurkic, and Josh Hart, and they're actually like an exciting, young, hungry team to watch again, so maybe the Trailblazers make the play-in tournament, I'm not sure. Part of me kind of hopes they just tank, but it seems like that's not going to happen at this point, so we'll see what happens with them, but I think my prediction there was accurate. The 11th seed, I said that would be the Kings. It's actually the Spurs. The Spurs are, I predicted the Spurs to be down in here, 16th, or 15th rather. I don't know, I might give myself an orange on all these teams down here. You know, honestly, because this is all, I'm just gonna do this, Spurs, Pelicans. I might give myself, I'll give myself a green on the Pelicans, because I didn't know that Zion was gonna be out this whole season. That it's only, you know, a 2-spot difference, really. I think I predicted the Pelicans finals placement to be around 11-12-ish range. They're a young team. They're on the up and up. I like Ingram. They have Herb. I can't remember his full name, but Herb has been really good. But they're a team that's getting better. I think next season they'll be in contention for the playoffs, which is I think what I said in the predictions. Rockets, I predicted them at 15. They're at 13. I'm going to give myself a green on this one. I'll go orange on this one. I'm just going to speed through these ones. Timberwolves, I got this dead wrong. This is the Thunder here. So this is a red. And then Spurs. This one's a red too. Because it's the Rockets down here. Okay. Okay, let's see. So Pelicans, yeah, Kings. Okay. So this is a little confusing. But here we go. And I just want to quickly talk about the Grizzlies because I stumbled over that thing earlier. But the Grizzlies, I thought they were going to make an 8th seed. I thought they were still going to maybe be too young to really make noise in the playoffs or make a deep push. But I think if the Grizzlies get into the playoffs and they match up with some of these teams, they might win a round or 2, maybe 3. This is a really good Grizzlies team being led by Ja Morant out there. They do a lot of things well, obviously. John Morant is an athletic monster. He can do everything well as a point guard. Steven Adams does a lot of the little things really well that you don't really think about. And there's just a lot of guys on that team that are young and hungry, and they're not really household names. Like, Steven Adams is probably the second best player on that team, but it's not really a star-driven team. It's all being led by, just team ball. I mean, there's Ja, obviously, but it's just like, everybody's bought into this system, and that's what's propelling them forward. So, this is here. This color encoding system might be extremely confusing based on, I should have color coded on this side, but oh well, I'm sticking with it now. Okay. Now, Eastern Conference. Listen, caveat, I don't watch Eastern Conference basketball. I am not going to have much to say about these things. So, caveat. Okay, the 1 seed. I predicted the Bucks. Let's do this real quick, actually. Clippers. Whatever, I'm sticking with it. Okay. I predicted the Bucks. The 1 seed in the East right now is actually the Heat. So this is a red because I had the Heat at 8. I had them at the 8th seed and they're the 1st, so not good. Again, I don't watch Eastern Conference basketball. I'm not going to have a ton to say about this stuff here. I had the Nets at 2. They're all the way down in 8th. The Nets have been struggling. Obviously, just traded James Harden for Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has not played a game for them yet. I actually think that could be a decent fit for him. Ben Simmons with Kevin Durant, kind of an interesting pairing there. And I think Kevin Durant is one of those players who can cover up Ben Simmons' weaknesses. So I'm excited to see those two together and see what they can really do. But yeah, obviously Kyrie Irving not being able to play full time. The Nets have had a lot of issues this season and just massively underperformed. I predicted the Celtics at 3rd. The actual 3rd seed is the Sixers. I predicted the Sixers down here at 6th because I thought they were going to struggle with Simmons and Embiid. I never anticipated them being able to get James Harden, and Joel Embiid is probably the odds-on favorite to win MVP this season. He's been carrying that team on his back all season, so you gotta hope that he stays healthy going into the playoffs. But yeah, the Sixers team has massively overperformed what I expected them to do. The 4th seed, I said it was going to be the Hawks. I thought, coming off of that playoff appearance, Trae Young, how good he was. I thought Trae Young was going to keep carrying them, and they were on an upward trajectory. But they've taken a big step back this season, and a team that I don't think anybody saw coming has stepped into that 4th seed, and that is the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers are the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, and they are so exciting to watch. This is one team I've actually seen. You have Darius Garland playing at an elite level. Evan Mobley, the rookie, definitely in contention for Rookie of the Year. Him and Jared Allen playing this 2-man, Twin Towers type game. Kevin Love has started playing again, coming off the bench. They just got Karis LeVert. I think Sexton has been hurt, so he hasn't played much. And I think, Markkanen also got hurt, unfortunately. But they're just a really young, exciting team to watch, and definitely a treat. It's been super exciting to see their rise. I definitely didn't see it coming. I predicted them to be in the basement of this division. Okay, I predicted the Wizards to be in the 5th seed, and even though I do like their roster, I think they have a lot of good players. For some reason, they just haven't really been performing that well here. And the Bucks are actually the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference right now, which is insane. The Bucks might not have home court advantage in the playoffs, coming off of a finals victory. It's kind of strange to me. I feel like the hangover shouldn't be that intense, but I also should note that the Eastern Conference is super close. Like, for instance, the Heat, who are the 1st seed, are 38 and 21. The Bucks, who are the 5th seed, are 36 and 24. So there's not a huge difference there. So these things could definitely change by the time playoffs do come around. I predicted the Sixers to be the 6th seed, and that's actually the Celtics. So this is, I predicted the Celtics to be 3rd. They're actually in 6th. I'm going to give myself an orange on this one. I think maybe just to break up the monotony of all this. Okay. I did it again. The Nets are not the 2 seed, it's the Bulls. I did the same thing again. So I'll just talk about the Bulls here. I predicted them to be the 7th seed. They're actually the 2 seed. And in that video, when I did my predictions, I talked about how the Bulls made a lot of smart moves in the offseason. Lonzo Ball, all that stuff. I thought Lonzo and Levine, those were going to be the guys driving the play. Those were going to be, your guys setting the tone, and they have to a degree, but I did not expect the emergence of DeMar DeRozan. I think DeMar DeRozan took them from a 6 to 8 seed team up to a top to 2nd seed, top 3, and I think they could certainly finish the season as a top 3 team in the NBA or in the Eastern Conference. But yeah, the Bulls have been super exciting to watch. I was on the hype train since the Lonzo Ball trade. I thought they made a lot of smart moves. I just wasn't expecting all of this to happen, if you get what I mean. So the Bulls, like I said, I predicted them at 7. It's the Raptors at 7 currently, whereas I had the Raptors down here at the 12th seed. So that's another big L. And remember what I said about not watching Eastern Conference basketball? My predictions for the East are terrible. Alright, 8th seed, I predicted the Heat. Nope, dead wrong. It's the Nets again, with the Heat at the 1 seed. So, not doing well. Let's see, the 9th seed. I predicted the Knicks, but it's the Hornets, and I get to give myself my first green, because I had the Hornets at 10. They're actually at 9. I think I said in the video, LaMelo Ball, obviously young player, really exciting, elite playmaking, elite guard skills. They have guys like Miles Bridges there. PJ Washington, is PJ Washington still there? I don't know, but they have these guys that they're good, they're young, but they're just not there yet. They're right on the fringe. I think that's what I said. I predicted the Knicks to be there. The Knicks, I'll get to them later. Alright, the 10th seed. I predicted the Hornets. They're actually 1 up. This is where the Hawks are at. So the Hawks fell all the way down to 10. They are in the play-in tournament right now. Actually, I'm going to switch my Bulls to an orange. I'm going orange on the Bulls. Okay. But yeah, the Hawks have taken a huge step back, and it's hard to pinpoint exactly why. Trae Young. Has Trae Young been struggling? No, Trae's been doing his thing, but Trae Young, John Collins, they have Bogdan now, Kevin Huerter, Capella, Gallinari, Hunter. Like on paper, that Atlanta team should be good, but for some reason they're just not. I predicted the Pistons at 11. I thought Cade Cunningham would, be enough to kind of push them up, kind of like LaMelo did for the Hornets last season. But no, that's the Wizards, which kind of shocking for me, honestly, with all the talent that the Wizards has there. I expected them to do a lot better than they have this season. 12th, I predicted the Raptors. That's actually the Knicks. I predicted the Knicks at 9. I'm gonna give myself an orange here. The Knicks, Julius Randle has taken a huge step back this season. I don't really know what's going on with him. RJ Barrett's been decent, Quickie's been decent, but it's like, I remember there was a lot of hype for the Knicks coming into this season too. They were coming off of a playoff win against the Atlanta Hawks. And then there was that whole off season, like obviously like the Side Talk NYC videos, they win the home opener and everyone's talking about KD. I wish he came to the Knicks. Like, Knicks are gonna win the title off of one win, and then they've kind of just really come back down to earth. And Julius Randle's not been good. All right, I predicted the Pacers at 13, and the Pacers are exactly at 13. Boom, baby, perfect prediction. The Pacers, though, although they're the 13th seed, they made probably the best move at the trade deadline, in my opinion, when they acquired, what's his name? I can't even say right now. Tyrese Halliburton. Like I said in my trade deadline video, Tyrese Halliburton is, in my opinion, going to end up one of the best young point guards in the league. He's going to be up there with guys like LaMelo, Trey, Luka, if you consider him a point guard, but he'll be up with guys like that. Like, he's just so skilled and so good, and he isn't even like close to his full potential yet. So the Pacers made a really good move for their future the offseason, and I'm actually really excited to see where they go from here. Alright, Magic. I predicted the Magic at 14. It's actually the Pistons at 14. So, I predicted the Pistons up here at 11. It's actually the Magic at 14. I'm going to give myself an orange for this one. And the Magic down here at 15, I'm going to give myself a green, because I knew that Magic weren't going to be any good. I just were expecting the Cavs to be worse, but it's actually the Magic in the basement. So, as you can see, and as I will easily just offer up, I know nothing about Eastern Conference basketball, or really much about basketball in general, although I've been watching the NBA for like over a decade at this point, but I'm still terrible at these predictions. But oh well. So there it is, at the All-Star break, what I predicted versus the actuality of the current standings. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought about this video, what you guys think about the current landscape of the NBA. If you liked the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this every single day. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.